on the web, and in your hands. This is MDiTV.
When a child tries to squirm out of donning a helmet before heading out on a bike, whining, "Why do I have to?" parents have a clear answer: because it's the law. But while a kid tootling over to a park or school on two wheels is generally required to wear a helmet, the same kid hurtling down a ski slope usually faces no such requirement. While bicycle helmet laws apply only to children, they have been one part of a general acceptance of helmets as essential biking gear for everyone. A neurosurgeon who treats traumatic brain injuries says we need a similar culture change that makes helmets as common as gloves and goggles on the slopes.
There are a very large number of injuries from skiing and snowboarding, and a good percentage of them, about a fifth of them, are brain injuries. And this is a big problem, because if you just go and casually ask people, how many brain injuries do you think there are in skiing and snowboarding, nobody will give you an answer that's anywhere near to the actual number. And as well, a proportion of these actually are fatal injuries, so there are a good number that are catastrophic, either change the person's life forever, or kill them.
Dr. Michael Cusimano, a neurosurgeon at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, recently wrote a commentary article for the Journal of the American Medical Association calling for action by winter sports celebrities and governing bodies, resort owners, insurance companies, and others, so that with or without new laws, helmet use among skiers and snowboarders becomes the norm. Kyle Krabilski owned a helmet, but his parents say the 23-year-old wasn't wearing it when he crashed and died while boarding on a terrain park on Oregon's Mount Hood.
He had a helmet. No one's enforcing him to wear this helmet. We don't know if a helmet would have saved Kyle's life or not, but it certainly is going to save somebody's life.
Helmet advocates want to see more resorts and schools follow the trail of High Cascade Snowboard Camp of Oregon and New Zealand. The camp began requiring minors to wear helmets a decade ago. Over time, resistance has thawed.
Yeah, I think that maybe in the early days, like back in 2000 when we first imposed that rule, we were really making a difference. People weren't used to wearing helmets when they came to camp, and we started making them wear helmets. Then we were probably playing a role in it becoming not a cool thing to do. I don't think anyone ever putting a helmet on thinks that it makes it cool. I think now it's maybe just neutral, that whereas before you put a helmet on and you were the only one doing it, it just looked kind of dorky. Now everyone does it, so it's just expected.
Each year, about 100,000 skiers and snowboarders suffer traumatic brain injuries. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates that proper use of helmets might prevent more than 40% of those injuries. That's a lot, but far from all. An engineering researcher who's extensively studied helmets and head injuries says, yes, by all means wear them, but be realistic. They can't always prevent the worst high-impact crashes from doing serious, even lethal damage.
And going back to the idea of three scenarios, a mild, moderate, and severe, where the helmet really pays off is in that middle territory, if you will. Those are the circumstances under which the helmet has sufficient capacity to absorb and to otherwise mitigate the effect, and it can either eliminate the head injury or, knock it down from a severe to a moderate or moderate to mild injury.
Jasper Sheely, emeritus engineering professor at the Rochester Institute of Technology, points out there are always unintended effects.
Do helmets increase risk-taking? And to my way of thinking, it would be peculiar, if not bizarre, if they didn't. Because everything else we know in life about human behavior, when we make something safer, people tend to either do more of it or increase their level of risk-taking. But I don't see that as an argument against using helmets.
And while Kyle Krabilski's parents understand that a helmet might not have spared their son, they want other children to have whatever additional margin of protection helmets can offer.
There is incentive to go bigger, go faster, but when you're having to clear a picnic table or a big steel pipe or something, you've got to have some protection on your head. So I just really think the age group that's not wearing them is the one that we really need to.
Well, because they feel they're invincible at that age, just like we all did when we were that age. Nothing's going to happen to us, and then it does.
And then it does.
And you can't put the helmet on after the crash.